This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. But most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I do say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak with transportation professionals, because at the end of the day, you guys, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Happy Monday, everybody. I got a very special guest for you guys. I'm going to bring her up in a second. And, I always love talking to people who innovate through the industry. And what I mean by that is it's that freight broker who notices a gap in their operations and creates a product and goes out there. And same thing on the trucking company side of things as well. It's building up that fleet, noticing a gap or an improvement in safety, and then going out there and developing a product based on it. I think like those are going to always deliver the most meaningful changes to the industry, is because it comes from the people who sit in those seats and live that every single day. So I have the founder of Angie's Transportation and RoadLites on the show, Mrs. Angie Twardawa on. Angie, thank you so much for taking this time to meet with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for having me, and good morning, everyone. I'm Angie Twardawa, and I'm with Angie's Transportation and RoadLites. Thank you for that intro, Chris.
No, absolutely. And when we met last week, Angie, I truly feel like the best innovation comes from the industry, right? It's those people who are living it day in and day out, and they're just noticing a consistent gap out there of an improvement. So before we kind of get into that, like, what brought you and your family into transportation? Because you guys are a multi-generation transportation family.
Absolutely. So how this started was my dad was a company driver in the 90s. He worked for Swift Transportation back in the day, and then he became an owner-operator. And then after he was an owner-operator, he started his own trucking company. Me and my brother grew up working for my dad and his trucking company. And then my dad is just an old school, he's an old school driver, and English wasn't his first language. And he was like, man, I just want to get back to driving a truck, being an owner operator, doing what I do best and what I love to do. So then my dad got out of his trucking company, ended up just going back to being an owner operator. And at that time, me and my brother were like, okay, what are we going to do? What do we know? What do we know best? We know trucking. Let's start our own trucking company. Let's learn, from the mistakes that maybe my dad did, take a little bit of the best of both worlds from learning from him, the experience from him, and then our ideas, and start our own trucking company. So then we started Angie's 13 years ago. It's going to be on November 2nd, I think, is our 13th anniversary. Yeah. So we started this 13 years ago. And about 3 years ago, when we were testing out different dash cameras for our own fleet, we just always noticed and said there's a visibility gap, and what I like to call a visibility crisis in trailers. When I tell my friends, did you know that a 53-foot trailer does not have a backup camera at the end of it? Everyone is always shocked when I tell my non-industry friends that. So we were testing out just different cameras, just everything. And we're like, this is not feasible. And one summer, 3 years ago, we were in Poland visiting our family, and we were looking at just the trucks and the trailers, and we were going to truck stops in Poland. and just wanting to see how different the industry was there. And we saw something that caught our eye that we noticed was how innovative the lighting is and how modernized the equipment is in Europe, and just the lighting and all of that. And that's when we started our journey with RoadLites, and we found our amazing manufacturer that we have the exclusive contract with. They're called Whirlpool. They are the leading automotive manufacturer in Europe. And we started our journey with creating these lights that are inspired by the European lights that are mandatory in Europe. And they're called outline marker lights that go on the rear end of a trailer on the ICC bumper. And we also are doing motion sensor lighting, and it helps drivers by they're able to look in their side mirrors and see the furthest point of their trailer and the perimeter of it as well.
Yeah, I riding along with my dad, because my dad was an owner op too. And it is funny because your dad and my dad are like cut from the same cloth with that, Angie, where my dad was building up his fleet and he had a bunch of shit happen in like a period of a month, and he like sold off everything but his truck, and he was just an owner op because he's like, I just want to drive. I don't want to deal with any of the other stuff that comes along with building a business. Because that's what it was. He was like, he was that nomad personality, right? Like he wanted to get out there and just drive. He didn't want to deal with any of the other, the BS that comes along with owning and building a company.
And that's why I tell everyone, like, if you know my dad, you know that he's just not an office guy. But he loves, the trucking industry. And that's, why we started RoadLites. We want to protect drivers like our dads. We want to make lives easier for the drivers like our dad. So he's definitely been extremely helpful still with RoadLites. He's still involved on the trucking side with us to this day. Everything that we do, my dad is testing out. He's also a diesel mechanic. So it's extremely helpful when we're testing out products for RoadLites. He's the one that's out on the trailer, installing things, installing the lights, testing it all out, and giving us the feedback that we need to hear and that we can trust as well.
Yeah. So like what situation do you think draws the most parallels from like owning your own fleet of trailers and then going out there and like seeing the benefits of RoadLites, right? Because like one thing, I've only been a broker for the entirety of my career, but I have also been in a lot of situations where like sidewalls get ripped out of a trailer when they're getting loaded, and it's blamed on the driver. And, drivers are, backing into certain areas that they're not the most well lit and everything else. So was there a couple of things that happened, Angie, where that like, once you guys were over there and saw it in Poland, and then you're like, this situation could have been potentially avoided if we would have had this product on our trailer?
Absolutely. So, as a trucking company, we experienced firsthand the challenges that trucking companies face and drivers face when it comes to accidents and safety. I mean, we've dealt with all of that. I've dealt with litigation, everything myself, accidents. Safety is my first passion when it comes to trucking, and that's my area of expertise. And I am a certified safety director. So I've dealt with all of this. And I tell people all the time, we're not just people that are selling random lights or motion sensor lighting, because we've dealt with this. So what we were experiencing within our own fleet is it's not the big crashes that hurt trucking companies. Those are not the most common. It's the little incidences that are happening everywhere. I mean, from our truck and our driver, he's at a truck stop, he's parked, he's sleeping, and someone is backing into the parking spot next to him, and they end up hitting our truck. And that's $5,000 to $30,000 in damages right there. And those are the incidences. You're not taking insurance. You're paying for that out of pocket because you want to save those insurance claims for the big disastrous accidents that you see on the news. You want to save that for that. But if it's something like a minor situation where our driver is in a parking spot or a dock door, he's backing into a dock door, and he's accidentally hits like a sign at a shipper or receiver, it causes property damage. It's those little incidences that those add up, like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 here and there. And now we're talking, $150,000. There's a fleet here that they've spent over $150,000 on these preventable little accidents every year. And that's why we want, why we see the value in these lights and why we're doing what we're doing. to help protect fleets and drivers, to help them save money, their bottom line. And then it's not just you're spending money on these little accidents, but now you have a truck that's down. So now you have downtime. Every day that truck is down, you're losing anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a day in downtime, and you're just not running efficiently as well.
Do you think how many fleets or even drivers out there do you think are maybe overlooking how simple something like this could be, right? Because I mean, I think like if you think about it, and I mean, I've seen your guys' product out there, and you know, you guys are hustlers, right? Like you guys are out there,
Yeah,
multiple trade shows. You guys are out there really pushing
absolutely.
this. And do you think that a lot of people are overlooking it because of how simple it actually is, right? When we're talking about the additional trailer lights on the back, motion sensor activated and stuff like that, you know, I look at it as like how many of us slap those up on the side of our house? We go to a Home Depot and we self-install one of those, you know, motion activated lights on our house, and we don't think about it from the actual functionality of our semis.
Absolutely. So I think right now there's such a focus on technology that we forget how we need to get back to sometimes like the simple and the basics of trucking. So right now there's such a massive focus on, as you see, all the AI techs, the AI tech, the AI software, all of that, sometimes it's okay to go back to basics. And that's why we created this simple hardware for an overly complicated industry that we're in. Sometimes we don't need to overcomplicate things. And sometimes it comes down to just simple hardware too, that's equally as important, that you can see and it's making a difference and an impact on your fleet.
Yeah, I look at it from that perspective as well, right? Like technology is great. There's a lot of stuff out there that's great, but it's like, is it necessary for your business to be successful? And when it comes to automation in particular, I look at it as automation's great if you have rock solid processes. Otherwise, you're just like automating shitty processes at that point, and you're causing more things. But I think like the blocking and the tackling of this industry, like those fundamentals that you speak of, Angie, those are never going to go away. Because like, there is no AI out there, to my knowledge, that would prevent what your guys' product does in like the added visibility in backing up inside of a dimly lit loading dock at night. Or, I've heard of that situation that you're talking about at the truck stop about 6 times in the last 5 months from other fleets where somebody was backing in, they ripped the bumper off of their truck and they had to tow it to their yard. And again, like we're talking tens of thousands, if not 20s of thousands of dollars worth of damages, let alone lost revenue on top of that. You're flying a driver back now because like he can't drive that down. The DOT would have a heyday if you were driving down the freeway with your truck like that and stuff. So it is a lot of those little simple things. And again, I look at it as like operational excellence is one of like the most overlooked aspects of business, right? Because people think like I can just slap technology on it and it's going to fix everything. But it's like, where are those silent killers of your operation? And again, like you brought up with, you're not going to go to insurance about that, right? Like $5,000-$10,000 in an out-of-pocket repair, that bleeds your cash flow potentially for the month.
Absolutely. It bleeds your cash flow. And then, it just hurts your relationships too with your customers, everything. It's hurting your reputation. It's bad for your customers. It's bad for business. Then you have drivers that, he's trying to run and he can't because your truck is down. So these are and 25% of accidents in trucking is actually backing accidents. 25%. Backing makes up for the accidents in the trucking industry. And that's a pretty big percentage. And when we tested these lights on our own fleet, when we were our own guinea pigs. So we tested everything on our fleet and we saw an almost 40% reduction in just rear end collisions, backing collisions, any kind of backing collision. We saw almost 40% in reduction in that, which is amazing. And that helped save our own fleet a lot of money. Not just that, but our drivers, they loved it. At first, when they saw it, it's something new. Of course, when you first see it, it's something new. And you're like, what is this? We weren't sure how they were going to feel about it. And then when we installed it on our fleet, all of our drivers loved it. And they saw, how helpful it is. and there's no training required, which was also beautiful because it's, as you know, it's hard to train staff and drivers, especially the older generation. They're not, it's harder to train them when they don't want another app. It's another app on their cell phone, and it's tough. So when we installed these on the trailers, there was no training necessary. They were able to just look in their mirrors and see where the furthest point of their trailer is. And when they're backing in the dock doors, like, we're primarily refrigerated, so our deliveries are being made anywhere from midnight till 7 a.m. at night when it's dark. So it really helped our fleet, and our drivers absolutely loved it. So it was good for driver retention as well.
So what does a typical installation of your guys' product look like, right? Is this something where I would have to bring my fleet in or have like an on-site mechanic come out and install it? Or is this something that I can just do myself?
Oh, it's something that you can do yourself, Chris. If you're handy, I mean, I can do it. I've installed one myself. So if I can do it, you can do it too. We've simplified it as much as we can. It is plug and play. So it is being installed on the ICC bumper, and you're just mounting it on the bumper. And we have brackets too. So it can be mounted on the top of the ICC bumper or on the side of it. And you're running a harness through the bumper, and it just plug and play into the marker light. I actually have one of the lights here right now with me. Yeah. So this is one of the lights right here. As you can see, this is the harness. And we have another harness. It's a modem that works as, like, these are stationary. These just stay on. But we have another harness that is a modem. So it works that it's a blinker or a turn signal, and it also works as hazard lights. But you would just run this through the ICC bumper. You disconnect your marker light and you plug in this to the marker light.
Okay.
It's that simple. So it's something that an owner operator can install himself. And if, someone that's not handy, they can take it to a shop and they can have a mechanic install it as well. And we work with different shops across the country too, that there are preferred partner and vendor on this as well.
Okay. So, like, what is the, I guess what's the difference between like an LED style? Like, why did you guys go with LED as opposed to another form of lighting in it? Is it just like the absolute, like the brightness factor of it? Is it the durability and the longevity factor?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. So LED lights, they're going to last forever. They're going to last the lifespan of that trailer. LED lights are going to last for over 50,000 hours. So once you install that on your trailer, it's going to last that lifespan. 5 to 9 years is how long it's going to last. We've had these installed on all of our trailers, and we've had zero go out in over a year. We've had zero break. We've had zero go out. And the rating on it is IP68 rated. So it is waterproof. So you can get a trailer wash. It's not going to damage it. It's shock proof. It's dust proof. So they're virtually also indestructible. And like I said, we've had zero break on our fleet, and we're going to Yuma and Nogales in the dead of summer, when we're doing our produce loads. It can withstand temperatures as high as 122 degrees to negative 22 degrees as well. So they're virtually indestructible, and they're going to last the lifespan of your trailer. And it's something that we've been telling, all of the fleets that we work with and owner operators, is that once you install it, you don't have to worry about it ever again. You have that peace of mind that it's there, and you should not have to worry about it ever again.
Do these go in? Because, like, obviously I know, I don't know the exact like rules and regulations from, the DOT or maybe the NHTSA. How do these act in compliance with that? Or, in the event any of your other lighting goes out on your truck, does this kind of make up for it from like a marketing, from that perspective?
So when we first started this journey in 2022, because we didn't go live with this product until this year, what we were doing for the past over a year, almost 2 years, was all of our due diligence to make sure that these lights were DOT friendly. Yeah. So we sent everything off to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to get their formal interpretations. We sent everything to various different DOT agencies as well, state, local, just to get their formal and informal interpretations and opinions on this too, because we said if we're going to put a product out there and I'm going to back it up, and it's our reputation that's on the line as well, I want to make sure we're putting something out there that other fleets and trucking companies and drivers can trust us. And we got the responses back. We made the necessary modifications that we needed to make sure that these lights were DOT friendly, because the last thing that I want is for a trucking company or a driver driving down the highway and he gets a DOT violation. We don't want that to happen, and we don't want to be the blame for that either. But so these lights, they are DOT friendly. They are considered accessorial lighting. They're considered they're accessories. Yeah. And they can, sorry, there's a fly around here, but so they're considered accessorial lights. And in addition to that, if one does go out, it's not a DOT violation. I know that's something that's really big right now, that it's not considered a DOT violation because it's not mandatory or required lighting by law, and it's just considered accessorial. So, and we've had 0 failed roadside inspections on our lights as well, and we're going through so many. I mean, our trucks are going through to California, and none of our fleets that are customers have had a failed roadside inspection as well for these lights. We've done the necessary changes, and we're continuing to work alongside with the DOT, the Department of Transportation, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And I would like to add too, with these lights, the stationary ones in Europe, they're actually mandatory on all commercial vehicles. They have their own special language and category in Europe because it's proven to reduce accidents, rear end collisions, undercarriage, side carriage collisions as well. And that is something that we're working towards here in America. We're working with state lobbyists, federal lobbyists as well, because this doesn't have its own category or safety language in the legislation. Yeah. So it's just considered accessorial for right now. But we are working with different state agencies and lobbyists and all of that. And eventually this is something that we would like to also mandate in the US too.
No, I mean, I think a lot of it to me is when I speak to a lot of friends of mine who own trucking companies out there, obviously safety is the top priority, but like rising insurance premiums is another silent threat to a lot of people's operations. And you had brought up earlier, was it 20% of accidents are when the driver's backing up? Is that what that was?
25% of trucking accidents are rear end collision accidents. Yes.
Okay. So when you say rear end collision, is that on the freeway, inside of a parking lot, loading dock, stuff like that?
Everything, whether it's on the public roadways or private, it's when he's on the highway or backing into a parking spot, it's all of that included. And the funny thing too, which is crazy to me, is that the statistics also on underride crashes, undercarriage crashes, and side undercarriage crashes, the statistics, they're not accurate because on a police report, there is no category for that either. So what is being reported, it's not accurate. And we believe there's more undercarriage crashes and side carriage crashes out there that are happening. But it's just not, the statistics are not accurate because it's almost impossible to track them when it's not even on a police report as an option to list that. I
think that would be a really good study for you guys to conduct out there is that parallels between when your guys' product is installed on trailers and the absolute reduction of that, because I feel like at that point, that's where a lot of fleets can draw in there, right? Like how many times again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would only assume in fog situations and stuff like that, where added visibility might prevent an accident, but also reduce the carrier's liability out there. Again, I think about nuclear verdicts all the time, and there's a lot of lawsuits in that have made headlines here in the news. And again, I look at it as, and I know we were talking about this, last week when we had met. Unfortunately, trucking's at a point right now where drivers and fleets are guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, sadly.
It's very unfortunate that that's where we are, but I feel like additional visibility out there, like that's just more proof that, hey, we are doing everything in our power to show that, like, hey, we are extremely visible out there on the road. And then again, giving the motoring public additional lighting to see, like, hey, boom, there's something up here. I got to slow down. You can see it. And I don't know. It's like, for me, I think the insurance and the safety aspect of it is like the greatest value added out there into the industry. And this is why people truly need to be looking into a product like this. And again, like if like the simple installation factor, like it's not like it's going to put your trailer down for a week or anything like that. Like that looks like something could be done in a couple hours max. Well, for me, at least a couple hours, because I'm not a mechanic at all.
Yes. So you're absolutely right. It's about being proactive. And that's the first thing that they ask when you're in litigation or anything with an accident that happens. Is the first thing they ask you is, what are you doing to be proactive with your safety department and within your safety within your fleet? What are you doing? Show us proof of what you have done to stay proactive, to make sure you have a safe fleet, or to make sure you have a safe driver. And this is one of those things. And in addition to that, we are working with different insurance agencies. I mean, right now we are a vendor partner for Cunningham and Butler. That's for Angie's. That's our insurance agent. And we presented everything to them as well. And we are a preferred partner with Cunningham and Butler. They love the product as well. So when we're working with different insurance agencies as well within the industry. But yeah, it's about being proactive. And what are you doing today to help make sure, you're protecting your fleet and your driver. And it's not just about helping your driver, but helping the other motorists that you're sharing the road with. We just want to share the road safely with other motorists. It's not just for your driver to help him see better, whether he's backing into dock doors or parking spot, but it's also for the people around him. It's for dock workers as well to be able to see him at night. It's for the drivers and the vehicles driving behind him too.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I look at it as there's a lot of safety features that you can invest into your fleet today that can offset the cost of rising insurance premiums and everything else. And again, it's like, we could sit here all day long and complain about this cost going up and that cost going up. But like, what are we doing to actively reduce it, right? Because unfortunately, with insurance premiums and nuclear verdicts and everything, I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. Like, I think like that is going to be a persistent problem out there for fleets. And, whether it be outward facing cameras inside of your trailers, or additional lighting, like a product like RoadLites out there, you have to look at those small steps to improve your fleet's visibility out there in the road and like the safety. Because again, like you said, lawyers are that's the first thing they're going to ask. What are you doing to proactively avoid situations like this? And you can't say nothing, right? Like, to have a safety action plan in place, to have the products that you're actively using out there. Again, I would want to be able to prove our innocence faster than anything, because litigation is a whole other expense out there that I don't think anybody wants to be a part of.
Exactly. And it's any kind of litigation, whether it's for a massive accident or a really small incident, it takes up so much time. I mean, going through just all of that. I mean, we've gone through it, and it's a nightmare. You don't want to have to deal with it, even if it's for something that it's a very small situation. I mean, it just takes up so much of your time, your safety director's time, everyone, and anything you can do to at least minimize that pain and minimize that, I'm all for it. And the other thing I'd like to add too is our lights they work great with rear cameras as well. So if there is a fleet or a driver that has a backup camera on the end of his trailer, our lights work perfect with those as well, because it adds that extra lighting and visibility too. So cameras are not our competition. They're not our enemy. They work perfectly for that, and with them alongside with it as well. It works great. And then it's not just, these lights can it's a universal fit. So it's not just for trailers. They can go on any type of trailer, whether it's a dry van, reefer, flatbed. It can go on a box truck, a sprinter van, everything. And we're working on different motion sensor lights too. Right now, the motion sensor ones work on box trucks, and we have them installed on fleets in the country on just different sprinter vans, box trucks, etc. But yeah, these can virtually go on anything. They're universal fit. We have different harnesses. So we've really tried to make everything as painless and as simple as possible for everyone.
No, Angie, I love it. I think you guys are onto something really big with RoadLites here. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, you guys, Angie, her family, they live, breathe, and sleep transportation, and they had enough happen in their trucking company that really spurned the creation of RoadLites and what it's going to do out there to improve the safety and work in the industry. So, Angie, how does anybody reach out to you guys to find out more about what you guys are building here?
So you can visit us on www.roadlites.com, and that's RoadLites, RoadLites. You can shoot me a message on LinkedIn. You can shoot me an email. My email address is Angie@roadlites.com. We're on social media. We have a LinkedIn page. We're very active on social media. We're very active on our website with different safety blog posts, and we're always going to attend these conferences and trade shows. So if you see me there, stop by. I'd love to show a live demo. We'd love to, we're do a pilot program with different fleets. And if anyone would like a sample as well, you can email me and I can ship a sample, a set of lights to anyone. If anyone is interested, we'd be happy to do that. And we'd be more than glad and appreciative of that as well.
Perfect. Angie, thank you so much for your time. That's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys can't find Angie or RoadLites out there, hit me up. I will gladly put you guys in contact with them. But that's going to be it. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. And if you're feeling ambitious, rank the show on iTunes and Spotify, because if you see value, your network's going to see it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Came back with a bang. Window down, yelling out money, anything. Hey, ooh. Got the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal when I'm getting to the bag. Ay, got the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal when the lane moving fast.